For more than a quarter of a century, members of the Kaliko family have been wondering what happened to their relative, who once left home and never returned. Investigators are also haunted by the fact that no suspects have been detained in this case. Until her death in 2006, Patti Doel, the mother of missing Tara Kaliko, hoped that her daughter was alive. With age, the inconsolable woman lost her mind from grief. She saw her baby in every girl passing by on a bicycle. Alas, 35 years have passed since the tragedy, but Tara has not returned home. The Kaliko case still remains open. For all these years, the police managed to find only one piece of evidence, and even that raised a lot of questions. What happened to the student, and is there a chance that she survived her mother? We are sorting it out. 19-year-old Tara Kaliko was an organized and punctual person beyond her age. The second-year student of the psychology department of the University of New Mexico always painted her day by the hour. On September 20, 1988, the girl planned, as usual, to ride a bike in the morning and then play tennis with her boyfriend Mark McCracken. At 9:30, Tara told Patti's mother Doel that she would drive 56 kilometers on her favorite route around her hometown of Rio Comunis and return by noon. Kaliko often rode with Doel, but this time the mother refused to keep her daughter company. Patti advised her to take pepper spray with her. In the spring of the same year, Tara found threatening notes several times that unknown people tied to her bike, but she only waved off her mother's words, and instead of a means of self-defense, she grabbed a player with a Boston band cassette. When Kaliko didn't show up at 12:05, Doel sensed something was wrong and went to look for her carefree cyclist. The woman drove along her daughter's route and, not finding her, contacted the police. It turned out that the student was last seen at 11:45 on Highway No. 47. Witnesses reported that a white pickup truck was driving behind Tara for some time. However, no one saw either the accident or the abduction, and it was not possible to say for sure whether this car was somehow connected with the disappearance of Kaliko. A day later, the same cassette was found 2 kilometers from Tara's house. Not far from this place, on the highway, there were traces of bicycle tires. Later, the police found parts of the Kaliko player, which were scattered 30 kilometers east of the city. Patti was sure that Tara was trying to show the direction in which she was dragged away by the kidnappers. Neither other things of the student nor she herself could not be found. The investigation did not exclude the possibility that the girl simply ran away from home. Some media reported that on June 15, 1989, a woman from the city of Port St. Joe in Florida saw a girl who looked like Tara in the company of 2 men. It seemed to the witness that Kaliko was following their orders. Who these people really were is still a mystery. It is curious that on June 15 of the same year, the only significant evidence was found in the parking lot of Port St. Joe, a photograph. It is known that on that day, a white van was parked next to the find, in which a mustachioed man of about 30 was sitting. Whether the picture fell out of the car, no one could say, and the search for the car and its driver did not lead to anything. The picture taken with a Polaroid camera showed a girl and a boy. The teenagers were lying on blankets and pillows in the van with their mouths taped shut and their hands behind their backs. Patti identified her daughter by the scar on her leg that Tara had received as a result of a car accident a few years earlier. Tara's sister Michelle was also convinced that the captive in the photo was her relative. But the law enforcement agencies did not share their confidence. The FBI came to the conclusion that it was not Kaliko in the picture, but another girl. At the same time, the staff of the British Scotland Yard, on the contrary, considered that it was a container. Experts from the Los Alamos National Laboratory could not give a definite answer at all. The thing is that in 1989, Kaliko would have turned 20 years old, and the girl in the picture looked at least 4 years younger. Doel continued to insist on her own. After all, next to the prisoner lay Kaliko's favorite book, My Gentle Audrina by Virginia Andrews. It is curious that the phone was recorded on the cover of the work. Due to the fact that some of the numbers were impossible to make out, there were 300 possible numbers, of which only 57 actually worked, but their verification did not give anything. The investigators who studied the picture wondered if it was a stage shot. The police were confused by the fact that the girl's hands were clearly not tied. Her shoulders looked quite relaxed. In addition, the skin around the mouths of the guys did not turn red, which meant only one thing: they were stuck with tape just for the sake of the photo. Who the boy in the picture was is also still unclear. On April 21, 1988, 9-year-old Michael Henley disappeared near the town where Tara lived. The child was hunting with his father in the mountains of Zuni, but at some point he fell behind him and fell through the ground. Henley's parents decided that their son was captured by unknown kidnappers. The police again doubted. A teenager of 12 years old was depicted in the photo. However, in 1990, Michael's remains were found in the mountains. The examination showed that no one had killed him. The boy's death was not violent. However, this question remained unanswered. However, some law enforcement officers believed that the fear in the eyes of teenagers was real. There is a version that two similar pictures were found years later in the Californian commune of Montecito. One shows an already dead girl with her mouth taped shut. On the other, the victim was sitting next to a man with a blindfold closed. Investigators provided Patti with footage for identification. Doel couldn't say for sure if her daughter was in these pictures. In 2003, Mark McCracken was convicted of murdering his wife. Law enforcement officers suggested that the man could have taken the life of Tara, whom he met before her disappearance. However, the investigators did not find any evidence of this theory. In 2008, the sheriff of Valencia County in New Mexico, Rena Rivera, stated that he knew from the very beginning what had happened to Tara Kaliko. The policeman is sure the student was chased by two teenagers in a white pickup truck. At some point, the boys accidentally hit the girl. In a panic, the young men killed her and buried her. Rivera said he could not name the perpetrators because without a body it would be empty charges. In the same year, 2009, David Barnes, the sheriff of Port St. Joe, received two letters sent from the city of Albuquerque. The envelopes contained pictures of a boy whose mouth was painted over with a black marker. The photo resembled the same frame of 1989. Image analysis again did not bring any results. The case of the disappearance of Tara Kaliko is still open, but now law enforcement agencies no longer consider the pictures as evidence.